everyone. Today we are going to continue our unit on genetics and heredity, and we are going to apply Punnett squares to solve a problem. So I'm going to take you through the problem solving steps in this basic problem, and then you can apply these techniques to other problems involving Punnett squares and heredity. So let's take a look at the problem here. So it says, a plant species has two alleles for seed shape, flat and round. The flat F allele exhibits complete dominance. So this is important information. First of all, it says there are only two alleles, so only two possibilities. This is good because it's very simple. Then it says the capital F allele is completely dominant over the small f allele. So we can assume that as long as a capital F is there, these seeds will exhibit the flat phenotype. So, the question then asks, if two heterozygous individuals are crossed, what percentage of their offspring will be round? So, let's jump right into the problem-solving steps. Now, the first thing we need to do, so step one, is to identify the genotypes of the parents. So here, they don't directly tell you whether the parents are capital F, or lowercase f, but they tell you they are heterozygous. Remember that heterozygous means they have one of each allele. So in this case, since there are only two alleles, we can assume that both parents are capital F and little f. The next step that we need to do is then use those genotypes to set up a Punnett square. And then we will fill in this Punnett square in order to find the genotypes of the offspring. So we're going to go ahead and create this here really quickly. And now that we have the parent's genotype, we can input those. So recall that the parent's genotype is split into the individual alleles. So the first one, capital F, lowercase f, we're going to split them up, put the capital F up here, and then put the lowercase f over here. So that's one parent. And then the other parent comes down the left side and again splits up the alleles. Capital F here, lowercase f here. And then, of course, the next thing we need to do is we need to complete or fill in the Punnett square that we just created. So I'm going to go ahead and copy paste this, and then we will fill it in to find out the genotypes of the offspring. So remember that in each box there will be one genotype composed of two alleles, and we get those two alleles by combining one allele from each parent. So in this first box, we see the intersection of big F from one parent and big F from another parent. So this individual will have big F and big F. Moving to the box on the top right, we will see it intersects one big F here and one little f here. So its genotype will be big F, little f. This one on the bottom left will have one big F and one little f. So just like that. And the last one, when we look at what intersects, we have one parental small f and another one over here, also lowercase f. So that one will have two lowercase f's. So now we are almost done. The last thing we need to do, step 4, is to identify and interpret, and that's the key point here, is interpret the genotypes and phenotypes of the offspring. Recall that genotype, which we will look at first, is the actual alleles that make up the offspring. So we can look back to our Punnett square that we created in step 3, and we can see that offspring 1 will be big F, big F. Then we have 2 offspring that are big F, little f. And the last one, the fourth one, will have little f, little f. Now that we know the genotypes, we can then use those to figure out what the phenotype will be. So, big F stands for the flat allele and is dominant over little f. So if we have two big F's, the phenotype will be flat. And in this case, we see this. Remember, the question wants us to find out what percentage of the offspring will be round. So we should find the percentages. So for big F, there is 1 out of 4 possible offspring, which translates to 25%. For big F, little f, that will also be flat phenotype because the big F is dominant over the small f, which is round. In this case, we have 2 offspring out of 4. So 50% will have that genotype. So in total, we have 75% that are flat. This one here has 2 lowercase f's. Therefore, because there are no big F's for flat, the lowercase f, the recessive allele, is allowed to shine through. So this one will have the round phenotype, which is what the question is asking us for. And this one, as we see from above, is 1 out of 4 possible offspring. So the percentage is 25%. So going back to the question, we see they ask what percentage of their offspring will be round. We can now see this and say that our answer would be 25% of the offspring are predicted to be round. And you can apply these same 4 problems